This story has got everything you could ever ask for. We've got big tech censorship, political bias from big tech, and we've got fake news and fake news media bias. That's four things. For the price of one video. You watch this one video, I am jamming all these great stories in there. Check this out. Google Drive takes down user's personal copy of Judy Mikovits's Plandemic after it was flagged by the Washington Post. But wait, there's more. I wouldn't just leave it there. Apparently, the Washington Post got a bunch of other videos taken down too. Don't you love it? Shouldn't these journalists be asking serious questions, not flagging videos to be reported to be removed? Friends, let me tell you about a very important journalistic ethic called minimize harm. Minimizing harm means you would avoid causing direct consequences with the questions you ask. The goal of a journalist is not to be an activist to force a company to take action. A journalist should ask, if you really want to ask Google a question, you can say, right now, there are people hosting the Plandemic documentary, of which I'm not a big fan, to be honest. They're hosting it on Google Drive. Is it a violation of policies, and do you plan to take action against this? And then they would say, yes, no, maybe so, whatever. But they give the link to Google, like, here it is. And then Google goes, okay, delete. Just like that. It's because these journalists aren't journalists. They're activists. They've infiltrated the entirety of media. And because of the power they hold now with public influence, Google gets scared. Now, I think Google has its political bias too, but I really do think the media is where this stems from. They say at Reclaim the Net, Google is now applying its controversial coronavirus misinformation policies to users' personal files. That's amazing. That's a step beyond. They say ever since big tech platforms started cracking down on what they deem to be coronavirus misinformation, the media has been willfully flagging alleged violations to social media companies and getting content taken down. And now the file storage and sharing service Google Drive has started to take down users' files in response to media complaints about them containing coronavirus misinformation. In an article reporting on the takedown, the Washington Post's Silicon Valley correspondent Elizabeth Dwoskin complains that after the coronavirus documentary Plandemic was censored on social media, some YouTube clips were telling users how to access banned footage from the documentary via Google Drive. She then notes that after the Washington Post contacted Google, Google Drive took down the file featuring the trailer for the Plandemic documentary. Dwoskin frames users sharing files containing the Plandemic trailer with each other as, quote, a wave of seemingly countless workarounds employed by people motivated to spread misinformation about the virus. Efforts that continue to thwart social media companies' attempts at preventing hoaxes and conspiracy theories from spreading amid the greatest public health crisis in decades. Dwoskin also writes the Washington Post reported 12 videos to YouTube, 61 Facebook posts and Instagram links to Facebook, and 24 videos to TikTok for featuring the Plandemic trailer. In response, YouTube removed 5 of the videos, Facebook removed 9 of the posts, and TikTok said it removed most of the videos. The Plandemic trailer isn't the only file that's been censored on Google Drive in recent months. After SpaceX and Tesla founder and CEO Elon Musk linked to what Dwoskin describes as a questionable study about the efficacy of the drug hydroxychloroquine in March, Google blocked access to the document. For many Google Drive users, the service is their only file storage solution, and they use it to save copies of videos and posts that have been deleted or censored on other platforms. Maybe you all watched the Joe Rogan podcast with David Pakman. In it, they have an interesting conversation about censorship. I want to directly address one of the points brought up. Joe Rogan asks, why is it that YouTube will allow flat earth videos, but they'll ban this stuff, right? That makes no sense. So what David Pakman responds with is, people aren't going to take action on flat earth videos. You might believe something silly. However, when it comes to this stuff, they might do something dangerous. But Joe's response basically is that, listen, we're not talking about someone making something up. We're talking about doctors giving their professional doctor opinion being deleted from Google. I'm not a big fan of Plandemic because I think it's really easy to take. Look, it's not just about Plandemic. It's about documentaries in general. I used to make them all the time. I know how framing works, and documentaries are the easiest tools for manipulating information. They really, really are. Plandemic, I think, is kind of bad for I watched it. I roll my eyes at some of these things. You get one person to make some claims, like it's an interview, and to an extent, it's okay. It shouldn't be deleted, but I think there's a lot of context that's required there if you're going to do these things. I think what they should have done is just put up the doctor's statements from within the video and avoid the more controversial subjects, but it doesn't matter what my opinion is, because in the end, the video shouldn't be taken down. YouTube, if it's a doctor, well, so be it. And you know what they've done before? They've put little things at the bottom where it's like, here's the truth about whatever, like global warming. Which brings me to the main point. When Joe mentioned flat earth videos, David's response was in the one analogy, flat earth versus doctors. And he said people won't react. Well, that argument doesn't actually get to what Joe Rogan was trying to say. So I'll give you one up. Joe's right to question why YouTube bans this stuff. Because YouTube does allow anti-global warming videos. Now, if you want to make an argument that people won't act upon flat earth videos, when it comes to global warming videos, if you put out videos saying it's not real, that will change behavior. That will result in people burning more gas or not caring or not, being in favor of certain technologies to benefit global warming. I'm not here to have an argument about global warming with anybody. I'm here to point out that there are conflicts on YouTube in terms of what people believe to be true and what people believe to be fake news. YouTube has chosen to allow some controversial political subjects that will result in direct action to remain up, but this specifically gets taken down. Sorry, it doesn't fly. It doesn't make sense. Well, this is not surprising that Google's going to go into someone's personal files. But what is kind of surprising is this. Trump considers forming panel to review complaints of online bias. Move is likely to draw pushback from tech companies. ACLU raises free speech concerns. You want to know why this is surprising? I don't think the Trump administration and his people really care about this stuff. I'm sorry. I just don't think they do. Trump made some social media website where you can go in and say, I've been censored, and they don't care. You know why? They're focused with the on-the-ground people, and I think they're making a huge mistake. Now, of course, they should be focused on, these communities and directly targeting with commercials and magazines or whatever they're doing. But what you got to understand is that when it comes to the internet, there is a powerful influencing force where although these individuals don't represent their own districts, right? Like AOC is a good example. AOC is the Twitter representative. Her followers are sprinkled out across the nation and the world, not her district. She can plant seeds with that power that can grow in certain areas if done properly. That's what Trump needs to focus on. Trump considers forming a panel to review complaints of online bias is the most amazing non-statement I have ever seen. First of all, he considers it, okay? So that means we're not even anywhere near it happening. To review complaints. Review complaints, is that it? So you're not even going to do anything. So here's the news. Trump might form a panel that will look at stuff. Congratulations. I don't think Trump and the Republicans care. And I think it's to their major detriment. There are certain things that I think are fake news that it's a struggle. Should Plandemic and should other, documentaries that have controversial viewpoints be allowed to remain? The answer is a resounding yes. And there are certainly some that I find completely detestable. And there are a lot of YouTubers who have horrible opinions that I think are just downright wrong and extremely moronic. I got into an argument with race realists once, and it was just like, I tell you what, it was like talking to a child. Now, maybe it was just them, but they did not have good arguments. And I think that's what you need. When confronted with the information, we had an argument, and they didn't have the answers. The only thing they ended up throwing back at me was, you just don't understand. You said, no, hold on. You just don't understand is not an argument. I said, okay, if you think this, then what about this? Okay, well, that creates a problem here. You see, the logic doesn't flow properly. I don't want to get into the full argument I had with him, but the point is, when someone sees bad information, the best way to counter it is with good information. That's why, as much as I'm kind of critical of YouTube putting the things under the videos, I don't care. I've done videos about COVID, and they put a little box underneath that says, here's the latest from the CDC. I'm like, great, do it. I don't care. I cite the CDC. And if some people disagree, great. Then the people who disagree can say, click the link to the CDC, see what they're saying, and I'll rebut it. And you could do that, right? Then everyone gets their say, and you'll have the weight of the government behind the CDC and their authority. What's the fear? I think the fear is they want control. Donald Trump hasn't done anything, and now it's probably too late. His highest profile supporters have been purged, but you know what? I'll say this. I think they might be happy about it, to be honest. I really, really do mean it. I think they may be happy about it. When you look at everything these social media companies have done, the way I've explained it is they've gotten rid of the worst people associated with Trump's movement, with the right. I'm not saying the worst people are bad. I'm saying in terms of PR and controversy, the highest profile controversial figures have been purged. Trump probably likes that. Look, Alex Jones, a bombastic, controversial figure. He was propping up Trump. Trump wrote a lot of that with InfoWars. Then Alex Jones gets banned. And that's a huge, huge business making millions of dollars, I think like every month. I don't know how much money they made. They get banned. And what happens? Nothing. There were some hearings. But think about it. To the average person, Jones talking about eating his neighbors and the frogs being gay is weird. By allowing them and sitting back and watching this, all that's left of the conservative movement online are suit-wearing lawyers, which are everywhere. All these lawyers looking all fancy professional saying, well, I have a good argument to that. Check this out. Points A, B, and, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. And you read it and you're like, that is a great point. The left remains. The Antifa people are screeching with their purple hair and, half-shaved heads throwing bricks. And that looks insane to people. That's why I think they ultimately don't care and they're not going to do anything about it. Listen, I think it's important to point out, first of all, that's my opinion, but I think it's true. I could be wrong. Also, what could Trump really even do? This is a problem for the courts, to be honest. So that's why I think it's silly. It's the panel, whatever. Fart noises. We'll see how things play out. It could be good in the long run. I got one more segment coming up for you in a few minutes, and I will see you all shortly.